And the House is set to vote on a bipartisan bill that could lead to a nationwide ban of TikTok. Lawmakers have been sounding the alarm about TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance, warning that by using the app, the Chinese government could have access to the data of millions of Americans, like browsing history and location. There are also concerns that China could be influencing what users see on the app. ABC's Elizabeth Schelsey joins me now, along with senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott on Capitol Hill, ABC News contributor, Google Tech policy fellow Mike Muse, and cybersecurity expert Alex Hammerstone. Alex, what are the major concerns for lawmakers? What are they trying to address here?
So I think there are a number of things. I think the concern is that TikTok does have a lot of data, much like other social media companies. Although because of the ownership, there's concern that the data could be shared with the Chinese government. Additionally, with location data, et cetera, but also the concern that they can really influence the national conversation and influence opinions and really influence elections.
Mike, what would this ban look like in practice?
In practice, the ban. Sorry. TikTok has over 100 million users. And so if the ban was to go into effect, the users technically would not be able to use TikTok. At this core, this bill legislation is really looking at Google Store and the Apple Store in order to remove the app from being able for users to be able to download that. Also, too, will be impacted is hundreds of millions of people use TikTok for business and to promote their businesses. Content creators use TikTok on a daily basis as a means to get out their content and also too to create a lifestyle for themselves. A lot of small business owners rely on TikTok to drive traffic to their businesses. And so it will have a huge implication if people cannot use TikTok. Diane, that is my main concern is how the federal government, I don't think, has a true understanding of the ways that a lot of Americans use TikTok for economic means. It's more than just viral dances and cookie croissants.
Rachel, I want to take that point to you because you've been hearing directly from people on TikTok about how this could affect them. What are they saying?
Yeah, I've talked to some of those small business owners that Mike was just talking about that have come here to Capitol Hill, TikTok creators that are urging lawmakers not to support this. And I spoke to two small business owners who told me that prior to getting on TikTok, their sales were slumping. They really were worried about whether or not they could even continue having their business. One owns a beauty supply company. Another one sells plants on TikTok. Now, since joining that app, they told me 90% to nearly 100% of their sales are coming from that platform. So their big concern here is that if they lose access to that app, how are they going to get their sales? And I asked, why not just get on something else? Why not just go over to Instagram? They told me they are not seeing the same type of crossover. They said TikTok, the way that it's designed, the community that they're able to build, drives their sales.
Elizabeth, some lawmakers have also said American companies could face retaliation for this ban. How so, and how much is that factoring into today's vote?
And it's important to keep this in the perspective of we've seen this tit for tat between U.S. and Chinese companies for years now. There have been tariffs, there's been export controls, and this is really an escalation of that. China's government today even warned that if the U.S. goes through with this attempt, it will eventually come back to bite American companies. So we could see further restrictions on American businesses, which we've already seen that escalate. But really, the question is, could that even happen in the first place? Would China's government try to allow this sale to go through? And what would that look like? And ultimately, if there is a sale, Diane, it's going to come at a big cost because, as we're talking about, this is a lot of users and a lot of data.
All right, Elizabeth Schelsey, Rachel Scott, Alex Hammerstone, Mike Muse, thank you all.